Hi, I'm Missy Crutchfield, and I am running for State Senate, Tennessee, District 10, and we've been doing these fireside chats and TikToks, and well, first I want to thank everyone. I want to thank our followers, I want to thank our supporters, I want to thank those. We're not calling it donors anymore, we're calling it investors, because you're investing in a vision that we are carrying that resonates with you, that resonates with what we need, and that's change. We also need to think about and it's at the core of our campaign, building bridges, what that means. And there's so much discord today, there's so much division, and the more I'm reading and learning and being out and talking to people that I never thought that I would care so deeply about before, years ago when I was an activist, and years ago when we have a tendency, especially when we're younger, to feel like we're right and we're on the right side of history and we are the justice seekers, and we may be, but in being a justice seeker, we have to be open to different perspectives and to finding ways to talk to each other, and always coming from a place of respect, because people are smart and people can tell when you don't like them, when you don't care about them, when you think that you're better than they are. And even though we may have more information and we may know that science is true and believe science and all the things that we do know, we have to understand that people may be coming from a different background, from different learning, from different environments, different cultures, and we have to find ways to share our ideas together and respect each other, because it's the only way that we're going to move forward. It's the only way that we're going to build a safe, free, clean, healthy world and planet. So I've been really trying to do some heart-seeking work as I'm talking to people, and I am a yoga teacher, and I'm going to be starting my first class. I was invited by a local beautiful Episcopal congregation in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I live. It's an urban city, and I have part of that county, and the other 3 counties I have are very rural. And I've told you before that my grandparents were farmers, and my father was a big civil rights leader, a Democrat, Senate Majority Leader when Tennessee was blue. Changed many years ago, and so I'm teaching this yoga class tonight, and I'm thinking about, most of the people were going to share similar ideas, because they reached out to me to teach the class and said, we love what you're doing, and we love your ideas about women's health and, farmers' health and public education support. So I'm so happy and honored to be doing that. But coming back to thinking about my yoga practice and what yoga means is union. And so I just feel like, the inspiration is, as I go more deeply seeking my truth, trying to understand others' truths, and at the same time I'm being called back into my yoga practice to keep me balanced and aligned and in union, in sympathy, in harmony, in balance. And so I'm just trying to understand what happened, how things got so divided. And the only way is if we start listening to each other. We've been on a listening tour, and just really sincerely asking people questions and being willing to, with an open heart, listen to the way they think, and more, or how they came up with those thoughts, because maybe they've never met anybody like me before, and that's very possible. And so it's good for them to meet somebody out of their box, and it's good for me to meet somebody out of my, or maybe somebody in a box, if I'd like to think of myself as being out of the box, and I often do. So the box meets the circle, or learning that different boxes aren't all alike. And so I'm talking to them, and what's happening is almost always people are saying, well, I agree with you. And then there's the one question about something, and you can fill in the blank. There's 3 or 4 issues that people just get volatile about, maybe. But I'm trying to explain that we're never going to have a perfect world. We're never going to agree totally on everything. But if we can respectfully agree to disagree, but look at the points that brought us to where we are. Let's just for this one show, and maybe we can take other examples the next time, but let's look at women's health care in Tennessee. So the one issue about choice is just explosive. But what I have to talk to people about is, why can't we trust women and doctors? And then just park that for a minute and think about, if you want to think about the violence and possible deaths and harm to so many people and so many women, because the doctors in Tennessee that take care of our women, our girls, our little girls, our baby girls, and our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers and so on, are afraid. And they're leaving the state in droves because they're afraid of losing their license. They don't understand these laws, and the laws can change overnight. And the people making these laws aren't thinking about things with a different perspective, because we have something called a supermajority here. And I don't think supermajorities on any side are good, because we need different perspectives. Sure, I'm a Democrat. Love to see everybody be Democrats. But then I would be the one calling Democrats out, saying, we've got to look at the big picture. So what's happened is they're not looking at the big picture. So we've got to see what's happening to our state. If we're losing doctors, then healthcare is being impacted. Then accessibility to healthcare becomes impossible. Then affordability of healthcare, it just doesn't even factor in, because we're losing our healthcare in Tennessee. And it's really, really dangerous and serious in our rural counties, because accessibility is an issue anyway. So when you look at how one thing, one perspective has changed the landscape of the entire state, then that puts it in a little different perspective. Yes, different religions, faiths, cultures are going to agree strongly or disagree strongly about something, but the big picture is this one issue, the decision that has been made, the harsh and angry decision that was made. And I do feel like there was a lot of anger that had to do with it, but okay, it's a harsh decision to stop what was thought to be violence has turned out to be more violence. So we have to change our perspective to look at modifying a decision. And personally, from being an activist to a politician, it's a daily teacher for me, because I'm having to understand compromise. Whereas an activist, you take a point and you fight. So I'm fearless about fighting. And yes, when we fight and we're on the right side and we listen to each other and we fight against division and we fight for unity, then we win. And that's what that means. So for me, it's a daily meditation, if you will. Again, I'm a yoga teacher, on looking at what union means, what trying to bridge division means. And for me, it means loving humans. It means loving the planet. It means being proud to be a Tennessean, being proud to be an American. We are all Americans. We are all human beings on this beautiful planet, and we've got to learn to coexist together and work for a peaceful state, peaceful communities, peaceful country, and a peaceful world. So I'm going to close it on this, and we'll continue this discussion. I'm going to go to my yoga class soon, and I'll just end with namaste. And that means, may the light in me always honor the light in you. Thank you.